Here, I'll start. I'll start
welcome
beatboxing.
to
Ryan, go. Ready?
Talon Talk. Talon Talk time.
Oh my lord.
Wicka.
Yeah.
All right, let's start this thing before we get too far off the rails.
Talon Talk.
All
Yeah.
right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talon Talk. I am keeping that as the intro because why not?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to episode 12. My name's Cloudy. Callum canceled on me today. Lucky still has a broken computer. They are both
That's
not
amazing.
here. So, with me today, I have the two captains that won their playoff games this week. We have Fuelmaker and Ryan. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, before Liz gets mad at me, make sure you mention that I'm co-captain.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're both co-captains, but...
Wait.
Yes.
Okay.
So, how you guys doing? I'm sure you guys are pretty happy, obviously, that you win your
Oh, I'm
games.
super psyched.
Looking forward to the matches. Obviously, Ryan, I play against you this week, and Fuel, you have a bit of a rough matchup against Glass and Foot. But
Hey, can we just use a word like challenge?
Challenging matchup.
Rough
yes.
matchup?
There we
Yes.
go.
You have a lot of opportunities in this match. we'll put it that way.
We'll save
Yes.
your rebuttal for later.
We are looking forward to this week. We got a lot of fun matchups going forward here. A lot of fun matchups. Last week, actually, we had a couple of really close matches. Even in the playoffs, we had a close match. So we will get into
One
that.
close match.
There was one of the two. We will get into that. I don't really have any news or anything, I don't think, this week. Besides Talon Field Day.
Oh, yeah.
Karisu's putting that together there, so we're going to have a nice day of a bunch of workshop matches, a bunch of crazy stuff. He's putting all that together. It's going to be a fun time, so we'll probably have multiple lobbies going. It'll be a lot of fun, so hopefully everybody can participate there. So DM Kurisu your ideas for that. Elite is now in the works here. We have 6 teams confirmed right now. So a lot of fun stuff going on there. 4 of the teams are existing teams coming into the league, so make sure you welcome all of them. So there's going to be a lot of new people coming in over the course of the next week or so. So be nice to everybody. Other than that, I don't really have any news per se. Yeah, so let's jump into it, all right? Let's get into our recap of this last week. And it was definitely exciting. It was definitely a lot of fun. Maybe that's why Callum's not here. I don't know. I can't speak for him. I don't know. But yes, it was a lot of fun. I want to start with probably the match of the week here. It was Zen's Garden versus Shimada Samurais.
Starting with a playoff match.
This was definitely one of the closest games, I think, in a while that we've had, especially with the result too. I mean, that's a crazy result line, you know. So why don't you give me your perspective, Ryan? Tell me a little bit about what you saw from your team's perspective in this game.
It was crazy. It was down to the wire. I'm not sure if many people expected it to be that close, but I think going into it, that's kind of what we expected, raising the SR cap to 15,000, that we were going to have just really high quality gameplay from both sides. And that was just going to be a really close toss-up. I mean, from our perspective, we're not really used to playing the 15,000 roster. We have some players that are just playing with each other for the first time. Like usually we wouldn't have Ice Mage and Malian together at the same time because SR wouldn't fit that. So there were some kind of growing pains a little bit. And I think Shimada's went through the same thing. But just kind of having a bit of a raised SR cap, you kind of expect that game to come out a lot closer.
Yeah, and so which map was the draw on?
The draw was on
Temple of Loki.
Anubis. actually.
Yeah, so that was map 3.
Mm-hmm.
2.
Map 2.
Oh yeah.
So
my bad.
so who won the first map?
So ZG won the first map.
Okay. And then you guys drew that one. So
yeah,
how'd that feel? How'd that feel?
Even on the first map, it was close. We had to fight for every team fight that we won. The first map went to 3 points. Like it went to all 3, and already from the beginning, it was really competitive between both sides. Like Callum, Midge, they were popping off on DPS because you don't really get to see Midget Unicorn on DPS that often. But I mean, Callum, if you're gonna watch us back, put your man on DPS.
Yeah.
He was popping off. It was crazy.
Awesome.
Penny is as good as always. I don't think many people knew about Penny until like the last week of the regular season. That's one of the things that we prepared for and that we looked at is that, wow, Penny is actually a really good Orisa.
Mm-hmm.
And just that we were going to have to go up against like Orisa Sigma, Ryan Sigma.
Yeah.
Like just those compositions, stuff that we've also been practicing. And yeah, I think the teams were really evenly matched. We were at the same SR the whole game through. So actually, on a couple of games, I think we might have gone under, but you'd have to look back on it.
Yeah.
I just think the main focus of like how the meta is right now, and kind of just seeing teams work into it is like that's going to be how these next few games are going to be decided.
Yeah. So Ryan, you've been getting a little more diverse other than Farah here. I would say when we played you back in week 1, it was like, okay, Ryan's gonna play Farah, and then you've definitely been getting a little more diverse there with your Bastion and Reaper and whatnot. So we're looking forward to playing against you this week, and it's definitely going to be a great match. At first I thought it was going to be a little more one-sided, obviously because I'm a little biased, but I think Aftermath and Zen's is going to be a very close game, and I'm actually a little worried going up against you guys, hoping we can pull out a win on our end, but we'll see. It's gonna be the definitely a fight of two of the top teams, so it's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Let's shift over to the other playoff match. It was Dark Mount Rebellion versus Republic Rebels. This one was obviously a little more one-sided than the first.
Oh yeah.
Dark Mount winning 4-0 against Republic Rebels, and I could probably speak for everybody when I say that nobody saw that coming.
What?
No.
Speak for
okay.
yourself.
Whoa!
I'll say
the
4-0, not the result. I'm saying the 4-0. I did not expect a 4-0. Did not expect the 4-0.
Coming out from Cloud. He's still sleeping on Dark Mount. I see. Alrighty.
I will say I'm not surprised Dark Mount won, but I am surprised they won 4-0. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
So I want to contest you on that real quick before Fuel even has a chance to speak.
Oh,
I know
boy, here we go.
He'll be livid about this. But I've said it since like 2 weeks ago, since the last time I was on the podcast. Dark Mount's ceiling is right up there with the top teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of potential they have in their roster, like I don't think people are paying attention to it, but Dark Mount is stacked.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say, so last week it was after the podcast, right? When we scrimmed, we scrimmed Thursday and we record podcasts on Tuesday. So
yeah, we did scrim.
So I told
would you like to share the
yes,
outcome of that scrim?
Yeah, so Aftermath lost 3-1 to Dark Mount in a scrim, and Fuel DM'd me after, and I even told him there that it really showed me how strong of a team you guys got, and you know, it wasn't I wasn't surprised per se, but you definitely have a lot of good pieces.
Sure.
You have a lot of good pieces
I appreciate that.
On that team.
Yeah, I will say, I think...
let's get a little humble in here.
Okay.
Maybe a little
I
humble.
I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, I'm gonna... Here, okay. our roster has changed since the beginning of the season, and we have one of the most well-rounded rosters in the entire league. I'd say. Not to sound too braggy or anything, but I mean, our DPS lineup has gone from almost nothing to now we have King J Rex, one of the best Junkrats. Dizzy's just insane. I'm not like, there are no words to describe what he does.
Yeah.
And just he got like almost a 4K, got a 3K that last map, and then
you don't want to give away all your secrets though, Fuel.
Well, those are two very obvious ones.
Yeah,
so I'll leave it at that. But like, we've just gone. I'm really proud of how our team's become. And
hey, someone's gonna get Zen's Garden by Darkmount one of these weeks. Like, you guys aren't gonna see it coming, but we're definitely gonna see it coming because we're already watching the VODs.
Yeah. Let's shift a little bit here. Let's look at the match itself.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Why don't you tell me a little bit from your perspective how this match went and how you guys felt about this one?
Well, we were prepared really hard for this game, and we came into it, and we just gave our best, and Republic they played very well as well, but we were just really gelling that day, and we were just playing. I think we were playing just really well. I was really they on King's Row they almost got us. It was like we only had like 10 seconds left on the map. I forget. Oh, it was Woe on the Bastion. He was absolutely destroying us, and we just couldn't contest him at all. But then we decided to stitch out some comps. I finally got to play Ana in a league match, which I was super happy about.
Awesome.
And yeah, but that was one that I got really scared about. I thought, oh shoot, we're gonna get full held here. And so they played really well there.
Awesome.
But again, Rebels, I think, is one of those teams that needs to go out and find a main tank next season.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd say that too.
Yep. And go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, they're the thing. Their DPS are just DPS are probably their best in that game. If we felt that a lot, healing was really good, but the main tank was just kind of whack.
Yeah.
It felt like.
Yeah, so definitely more of a one-sided match in this one. So we'll look ahead in a little bit here, but Darkmount, obviously you're gonna have a little bit of a tough time going up against Glass and Foot this week. But I wish you all of the best there. Let's take a look at some of the other consolation bracket here, some of the consolation matches. We'll just go in order here. Let's start with Guyana versus Eclipsed. This is another one I did not expect at all. Guyana coming out 4-0 against Eclipsed. I mean, I watched this match. It was pretty one-sided. Guyana pretty much dominated this match. And, like, there's close 4-0s and there's one-sided 4-0s. This one looked a lot more one-sided to Guyana. And a lot of this match looked a lot like meme popping off, obviously. And their other DPS, JJ, was also doing a great job on Sim in some of the maps there. But yeah, I'm still surprised with the Guyana 4-0. But Eclipse did need a fill here, so I mean it's not totally surprising. So you know, we'll see what they are able to do going forward here. But what do you guys think of Guyana winning this one 4-0?
You want to take this one first, Fuel, or you want me to go for it?
You can go.
So Eclipse does have a smaller roster right now. They're gonna need to go out and kind of rebuild. They have pretty strong core if you look at it. Bacon Guy is really good. You know, of course, you got people like IQ, Houdini, Blue at their respective positions. And I think they go out, they find, you know, some really strong DPS players, some pieces here and there that they need. Then they'll be set for next season. Gehenna's, on the other hand, they impressed me, but I don't think they surprised me. Like, Gehenna's has this potential, you know, memes good, memes, you know, great and all that, but, you know, no one gives credit to Beavers. Beavers pops off.
Yeah.
creates so much space for his team. It's crazy. Nightflix on, any role. You put her on DPS, she's gonna pop off. You put her on Sigma, she's gonna pop off. You put her on, just off tank or whatever you may. And in total, you have a pretty good team that knows how to play around each other. I think by the point that they're at, they've kind of worked out all those kinks of. Again, these are both of the teams that have, I guess, the smallest rosters in the league.
Yeah.
True.
I just looked at it. Guyana has 7 people on their roster right now. 7.
Kind of crazy.
So, good luck to whoever has to schedule a match with them next week. But, no, 7 people on their roster. That is very surprising. But, I mean, they have their starting lineup, I guess. They don't have to make too many decisions there. I guess that helps. But, yeah, I think Guyana definitely do have some good players there. Obviously, Beavers being probably the best hamster in the league by far.
Talon's resident Amo.
Meme obviously popping off as he always does. And then obviously you have Nightflix and whatnot. So they have good players, but they don't have depth. So I think that's one thing that they're going to. Obviously, there's still games left in the consolation bracket here. So if they want to win a lot of matches here, they're going to be easy to counter because they can't make those crucial swaps they need to make. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes there. As far as Eclipsed, they still have. They had to fill here, so that isn't always the best scenario, but definitely did not live up to what I thought they were going to be able to do in this match. Let's look at the next match here. Let me pull it up so I don't get it wrong. Let's look at SDG versus TLM. And the SDG train rolls on again.
Hashtag all in.
4-0 to SDG. And man, they they put on a show over there. Completely obliterating TLM.
Oh, yeah.
Albeit TLM did have a couple fills.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
TLM did have some fills. But TLM are the same team that last week. Well, I guess it doesn't look as great now. But TLM last week 4-0 to Eclipsed. Or not 4-0, it was maybe 3-1. But they beat Eclipse last week.
And their fills were part of their team earlier in the season, too. So it's kind of just...
Yeah, so why don't you guys tell me what you think of this match?
I casted this game, and SCG really popped off. They showed that they have what it takes, and they can go pretty far in this consolation bracket. And I don't really know. It was kind of just a cut and dry game. Not gonna lie.
I do want to talk about something though.
Go for it.
Roxas's 57 charge kills.
Oh yes. We started counting his
16,
charge kills.
17?
Yeah, I think he got to 16 charge kills, and half of them were on Trill. It was kind of sad.
You got to eliminate the competition, one way or the other. That's the other sim main in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, Roxas definitely was looking very good on that sim there. Who else on SDG really popped out at you?
It was his Ryan too.
He was on the Ryan.
Yeah.
But the DPS on SDG with Veil and Fireball. That's
Absolutely
a strong duo right there.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the personnel in place to put in with them, in which you could run both of them at the same time. You put in Bravest, and you can put in pretty much any combination of players.
Yeah. It's nice when you have that low SR to throw in there. And then on the TLM side, obviously they had the use of fills here, so we don't get a great look at them, but they also had to use fills last week. So, but that being said, TLM or TLM, I don't have too much of high hopes for them, but they have
they're in it for the rebuild.
Yeah, so they use 2 fills here, so there's not much you can say about them, to be honest. But they're rebuilding. Maybe we'll see what they do during the off season. Maybe there'll be some fun things going on there. But other than that, I don't think there's too much else to really talk on there. Let's go on to our last match here. It was Valk's Descent versus Genjutsu, and this was a very close match, actually. I
Oh yeah.
kind of flipped through this one real quick. Valk's Descent coming on the top here, 3-2. But one thing I'll say right at the top here. So Valk's Descent won map 1 and map 2. So they were up 2-0 against Genjutsu. Genjutsu then went on to win map 3 and 4 and force that map 5. And if that isn't the most Genjutsu thing ever, I don't know what is. Because Genjutsu's a team that no matter how down they get, or no matter how many maps they lose, no matter how much they lose this season, they still seem to fight. Like,
Yeah.
it's common for a team like that just to like not be able to get people to show up, or not be able to like not they, you see teams like that usually have to use fills and stuff like that, and they seem to have stuck together. And obviously Vivi is one of the ones that is probably driving some of that because of how good Vivi is. But they just seem like a team that even they were down 2-0 against Valks, and they still ended up forcing a map 5. So you look at that, and it's like they never gave up, and they don't seem to give up ever, really. So and it
They're
really,
like Rick Ashley.
even in the map 5, it came down to like one of like the last fights, and they lost, but it was super close, and they fought through it the entire way. So props to them for still fighting through the season here.
Yeah.
On the Valk's Descent side, maybe not totally what we expected from them. Maybe we expect a little bit more out of them against Genjutsu, but they didn't really have their full roster either. Maybe they didn't have their best lineup, but for them, Sane Killer is one of the ones that popped off for them a lot throughout this match. But
Red popped off.
yeah, Phoenix Red. So what do you guys think of this matchup here?
Well, on the side of Genjutsu, I'm personally optimistic about Genjutsu for next season. One thing about these lower SR teams, they are one of those teams with like a lower SR average. But that also means not only is there room to maybe draft next season, because they have a lot under the cap, they also are going to stick around. You have some of these teams that are, you're going to have some players move up to the elite, and they're going to have to maybe fill those slots.
Yeah.
Genjutsu is good to go with their core. Their core's already played with each other, and they're set. You know, VV's interesting. You see Frankenlegs like on main tank is really interesting. They got some good pieces. I think Sharky's found their role on support.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And we'll see what they can do during the offseason.
Oh yeah.
Fuel.
Super optimistic. Just super optimistic about both of these teams. They really put up a great fight here. Especially Genjutsu just getting so close. Maybe they'll finally get that win later in this consolation bracket.
Yeah.
Hope probably.
Go ahead.
I'll keep going.
Yeah, Valk's Descent doesn't have anything to be ashamed of here either, because they were playing off roles a little bit. Like I saw Jumbo on support.
On that brig. Popped off.
And I mean, you don't really have, your normal support players there. And he still performed well. Like, you can be proud of that.
Yeah.
Blitz is, solid as always. Sewer Rat on support, showed that flexibility. And they just have a good DPS line.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that just about wraps up that match. And that wraps up our entire week 1 of our playoffs there.
You're talking about the scrim that happened?
Oh, yeah. We'll throw this in there. For all those that are interested, probably none of you, but Aftermath scrimmed against Glass of Foot this week. It was streamed and casted and the whole 9 yards, and it was a lot of fun. It went to like map 5, the last point of map 5. It was super close. This could have went either way. Aftermath won it 3-2, but it was a lot of fun from our end. my guys had so much fun playing in this. It was so close, and it was definitely something to look forward to if both of if both us and Glass of Foot can make it to the finals. I think it would make for a very interesting final. But hey, you guys are gonna have something to say about that.
We might save it. We might save a couple of those things for the predictions.
We'll save that. We'll save
a couple
that.
things that I do want to say at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It was, as much as it was a close game. You guys played against each other or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
The stakes aren't really as much there, right?
Yeah.
With the consolation bracket, you're fighting to not be last, and in the playoffs, you're fighting to keep your season alive.
Yep.
And that amount of just clawing through and forcibly, just getting better and just constantly fighting to keep your season alive. That's gonna build your team. That's gonna build, you're not taking any weeks off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You take a week off, and you still scrim a strong team, but the stakes just aren't there. You're not you're not fighting for your life anymore.
We'll see. We'll see if that matters going forward here. Real quick before we get into this week's matches, though, I want to talk about the two teams that were eliminated. Let's talk real quick. Let's look at Shimada first. So obviously they get eliminated by Zen's Garden here. For me, I think Shimada had a successful season. I think a brand new team coming in. I think they could probably brand this as a successful season for them. They made the playoffs. Even though they got knocked out round 1, they got knocked out against a very good team. They have nothing to be ashamed of there. They were very close. And for them, I think it was a successful season. And then Republic Rebels, we look at them a little bit, and I talked about this a lot last week when we did a season review and whatnot, but Rebels were a totally different team when you look at them week 3 and week 4 compared to where we are now. So it's hard to say their season as a whole was a success or their season as a whole is a failure, because half the players that are on their team are half the players that were on the team to start the season are no longer there. They're a totally different team today than they were before. But I don't think they have anything to be ashamed of. They did a great job keeping the team together and moving through those rough times and getting knocked out against a great team as well in Darkmount. So great team, great seasons for the both of you guys there. And I'm looking forward to see what you guys can do against your next opponents. So let's move into the playoffs here. Oh, wait. Before we get into the playoffs, I will say cereal is not a soup. That is confirmed.
Oh, that's so... No, I asked someone this at school, and they said to be a soup, you have to be heated up.
Well...
So,
that's because there's such thing as a cold soup.
There is.
Those exist.
There is cold soup.
But,
in my opinion, cereal's not a soup. Anyway,
it has some kind of meat and stuff.
There's more to this debate that I think we need to go into. Like from a standpoint, I remember
we're gonna turn this into the soup show.
On that. No, seriously, Xenon told us, the whole kind of spiel about it. Milk itself being a component, it depends on whether or not you consider what it's in to be like a soup component by itself. So milk, whether or not you can, because milk's a step above water, but a step below cream.
Oh,
right?
Yes, very intriguing. Yes.
All right, let's leave it there. We'll have
this debate later, guys.
Yeah, we could have this after we're done with the podcast. Let's take a look at the playoffs here. Let's look at week 2 of the playoffs. This is going to be a very exciting week.
Semifinals, dude.
Semifinals.
I'm so excited.
The final 4. We have Aftermath versus Zen's Garden and Glass and Foot versus Darkmount. Let's start with Aftermath versus Zen's Garden. I think, besides the finals, right, I think this is going to be the closest match of the entire playoffs. What do you think, Ryan? I'll let you say your side first here.
Be afraid, Cloudy.
What do you think here, Ryan?
I think people are really focused on the fact that Aftermath 4-0'd Zen's Garden at the beginning of the season, We've only lost one game since, and well, I don't think you've faced the wrath of playoff Zen's Garden yet.
Yeah, you definitely make a good point there because we've been talking the past few weeks about how Zen's Garden have been a totally different team over the past few weeks, and they look like a totally different team from week 1 to now. And you do it to the same people, so I'm not sure what's different about you guys, but it must be the fight you guys get at the end of the season here to really fight on in your season. But I already said I'm looking forward to this. I think it's gonna come down to like a stupid like 1 team or 2 team fights, like something really dumb, and it's gonna be a great match. I hope everybody watches this one because, in my opinion, this is gonna be one of the best matches of the year right here.
Yeah, I think
So speaking of which, continue.
I think this game is just gonna come down to whoever has more fire. I mean, we scrimmed both of these teams last week. DR did, and you guys both are very good teams. You both put up great fights, and I have friends on both these teams. Woodballs, Slick on either side, and they're you guys are ready. I think, it really just comes down to whoever has more fire, who's ever just playing harder, I guess.
Yeah, and so let's look into a little bit of the specifics here. So from your Zen side, you guys are going to be really dependent on your DPS, yeah. So obviously Loki popping off last year in the playoffs and really like put himself on the map last season, and obviously you have yourself on DPS. I think you two are definitely going to be some of the most important pieces of your team going forward here. Obviously you have Woodballs, he's going out with a bang here, so definitely some big pieces there. From our side, it's kind of more of the same.
Of them, but I'd rather you forget about them.
Well, why don't you tell me then what you think, Ryan?
Acidin, dude.
Oh yeah,
you're
right.
Fucking carry. He's insane.
You are
He's
right.
insane.
Click.
I don't want to, because on one hand, I want to praise like these players. On the other, I don't want you to prepare for them too much.
Joke's on you, we're already preparing for them.
Yeah, so I'm just going to mention them anyways. Because,
prepare for each and every one of them.
You need to prepare for our entire team, so...
Even their coaches.
Yeah.
Every single person. The supports that we brought in are insane. They're fantastic. Mouse, Molly, Ice Mage, they've been, they've really been pulling through their rookie seasons. Alexi's coming back, and Alexi being here already, kind of one of the veterans of the team. She kind of holds things together. And Mammon and Thoth were huge pickups. We didn't have them at the beginning of the season. Had we had them at the beginning of the season, we would have been undefeated.
Okay.
So,
okay.
All right.
But there are a couple of factors that are a little bit different as compared to when you last faced us. But I do want to hear your side.
No, I mean, you're right. And from our side, I think it's more of the same. I think our DPS players are definitely going to be the make or break of this game. It's really those important picks that are going to make some of those team fights a lot easier or a lot harder. So those are definitely going to be some of the most important things to watch. I think our tank line has gotten a lot better since the beginning of the season, and we've built synergy there. I think our support lines got a lot better over the course of the season. Poopy has obviously been carrying this support line because
best name in Talon. Yeah,
Queen Poopy.
No, we talked about it a lot last week. Poopy was like a bronze player in like season 1, and like obviously like we've worked him up a lot from where he was and is now playing really at a very high level. So
true.
I think we got a lot of depth as well. We can sub people out, sub people in, and we can definitely make this a little bit harder for you guys, hopefully. So we'll see how that game goes, and let's move on to our next one here.
No predictions?
Yeah. Give us some predictions, dude.
Yes. So I'm gonna predict 3-2 Aftermath. I've been talking about how close it was gonna be, so I'll go 3-2 Aftermath. What do you think?
I'm gonna go 3-2 Zen's Garden here.
Ooh, okay.
I just think they have a little bit more playoff experience. I know, champions last year.
Yep.
And I know they're fire. Yep, there it is.
All right, and Ryan.
I'm gonna hit you guys with a curveball here, right? This is
Aftermath?
gonna be crazy.
Really? No.
4-0.
I think it's gonna be 2-1-1.
Oh man, another one, huh? Wow, 2 in a row for you
or
guys.
maybe a 2-1-2.
Just purposely tying their games at this point.
I wanted to get like
Everyone getting spawned. We have to draw one match here.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think it matters. Personally, 3-1, 3-0, 4-0, whatever it is. Zenz is gonna be coming for you, Cloudy.
All right, and we will be ready. We're coming for you too. Let's look at the other one here. It's going to be Glass and Foot versus Darkmount. And I think this one's going to be close, but I don't think it's going to be as close. Fuel, okay. I think you have to look at Glass and Foot as such a great team. And they've shown it so many times over the course of the season. When they come together, yes, we beat them in the scrim this week. But if they had their starting lineup, I don't know if that's the way it would have, that's the way it would have came out. So, they had probably 3 starters that were missing there by the end of the game, like you said a couple of minutes ago. So I think Glass and Foot are such a strong team. They have subs that are as good as starters. So it's they are such a well-rounded team. And they will beat you in any facet of this match.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna. That's
no question.
I'm not saying that Darkmount is bad. But I'm just saying I think Glass and Foot are gonna be the team on top here. Why don't you tell me your side?
I'll let Ryan go first, and then I'll.
Okay, I do want to go into the specifics with Glass and Foot, kind of what makes them such a strong team. Because you're right. There's no denying the fact that they're a really strong team. A lot of it has to be the work that they put into it and just, how much the team plays with each other as a whole. And even some of their players that are bronze they don't have any bronzes, but they're silver, they're lower SR players, basically. They don't they play the same level as the other players on the team.
Yeah.
Right? You look through, you see Illumination, Yumo, Issa, they're popping off, and you look at their stats, you look at their rank, and they're, 1750. They're, they're really holding it down.
Mm-hmm.
So, just the depth on that team, like you mentioned, is what makes that team just really strong.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think about
now?
God, yeah.
Here's the part that I think me and Fuelmaker are gonna make a bit of a public service announcement about this.
Oh boy.
Right?
Yeah.
We're gonna take over the stream for a second here.
Oh boy.
Because I think these two teams, I think so far in the playoffs, it's been a lot of people have been saying it's a lock, Aftermath versus Glass and Foot. Since week 3 of the regular season.
So annoying. God.
So me and Fuel are going to take over right here.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Go for it.
We're going to put some respect on these teams' names, right?
Mm-hmm.
Darkmount is stacked.
Hell yeah, we are.
I want you to go ahead and list those players on your team, Fuel, that are.
Okay.
That are.
We've got Dizzy. We've got King. We've got me. We've got Trainer Gain, best Sigma in the league. I'm just gonna say it.
Oof.
03 Inches of Doom. Chaos, you're listening? Doom has called me out. He wants to put you in. He wants to have a May battle. He thinks he's the best man in the league. We've got Yoshi. We got Kinetic Yoshi, the man who came in as a tank main, and we made him a Pharaoh 1 trick. And
you turned him into a
Oh boy.
Got Lupus. Amazing Moira. Sort of. And just kidding.
Wow.
Love you, Lupus.
I feel really motivated to be on your team now.
No, I love Lupus. Lupus is great.
Ice Wind on main tank. Icewind on main tank is a true story. I think people still suffer from thinking, oh, it's Dark Mount. TCRN is the main tank. And people kind of just sleep on you guys.
No, we've got Bone and
been around
Skin.
since FJ.
And no, yeah, Icewind. We played Icewind. He's best teabagger in the league. He was yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm convinced. I'll give you one map. No, I'm kidding.
So, people have been. I think it was a mistake, Cloudy, to invite the co-caps of Dark
True.
Mount and Zen's Garden to come into
The people that were
the semifinals.
the two teams that have been
it's not a mistake.
Depraved this entire season from the podcast.
It's not a mistake. It's called good radio. No.
So
true.
Here's kind of an overall prediction for the week that we've
taken over. Tell me how it is.
This whole narrative of Glass and Foot versus Aftermath. That scrim is all you're gonna get.
Oof.
Oh yeah.
Because we're messing it up this weekend.
All right. You talk the talk, but I want to see you guys walk the walk here. That's all I'm saying. I want to see it.
Try.
And we'll be ready.
Yeah. So I just made it so we can't lose, because if we lose, I'm
that might be bad.
So wait, so if you guys
end up very poorly.
If you guys both lose, can I have you both on the podcast next week again?
Well, I guess we just have to be prepared not to be on the podcast.
Yeah, I guess I might end up being either I'll end up being super healthy if we win, or I'll end up being just a little in my bed.
You're a little sick, under the weather.
Yeah, just a little sick.
Rough voice. You can't really talk much.
I lost my headset. I can't.
Yeah.
All right. I am really looking forward to this weekend, and I hope everybody is too. I hope all you guys are looking forward to these two matches. They're going to be great. Let's look at. Oh yeah, predictions for Glass and Foot.
About the predictions.
Predictions for Glass and Foot versus Dark Mount. I'm going to predict Glass and Foot 3-1. You heard it here first.
I will predict. This is really interesting. I'll go Dark Mount 3-2.
Okay.
I'm also going to be predicting a Dark Mount 3-2, just because you can't really go against your team. Come on.
Of course.
I put my heart and soul into these boys, and we're ready. We're ready to bleed blue on that field.
Awesome. I'm
it's
looking
hard
forward
not to root for the underdog, dude.
You're right. All right. Let's look at the consolation bracket here. We'll run through these matches real quick. We don't have to get too in depth here. Let's first look at Guyana versus Shimada. And Guyana coming off probably one of their best wins of the season. Shimada coming off a really close loss. Both of these teams going to be looking to get a win. Who you think here for Guyana versus Shimada?
Well, it really depends. It depends on a couple of things. Both have really small rosters, like you said. They might have to ask for fills. They might have to ask for SR raises. Who knows? Depending on how it goes. If the SR is raised, I mean,
Shimada's probably
Shimada's is strong.
Yeah.
Gehenna's is also. These are both teams that fly under the radar. You don't think they'll put up a fight and then boom, fight.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I think these might be the two best teams in the consolation bracket. Shimada's and Gehenna's.
SDG might have something to say about that, but.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'd agree though. I think Guyana have a really good team, and they've been proving it over the past few weeks. But like you said, they're a small roster. Shimada, it'll be interesting to see if they can keep their roster together through the off season or through these consolation bracket. They were having some issues with people leaving even before their playoff match, so we'll see if they can maybe keep their group together. Me personally, I'm gonna go with Guyana here. 3-1 is gonna be my pick there. I think Guyana, they're gonna have the better team here. I think they've shown it in the last few weeks here, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go in with Guyana Gates here and pick them to win.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Guyana too, but I'm gonna give them the 4-0 here. I think they're just. Wow. They've been playing out of their minds. Yeah. I think Shimada's just lost too many key pieces. Mm-hmm. They're still a very good team. It's just that just going back to some of the other games they lost this season. If Guyana starts winning, then that'll be it. The comms for Shimada might just get just a little too. So if Shimada can keep their comms and keep calm, if they lose a couple maps, then they'll be golden. But that's really just how it depends on, because Gahan is going to come out strong with their DPS here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree. It's going to be very momentum based. Whoever gets momentum early will probably carry it through the map, which is why I think it's going to be a Shimada's 3-1. And that's interesting because I feel like Gehanna's might have the edge when it comes to the DPS, and Callum might have something to say about that. But I think where Shimada's might get the advantage would be in their tank lineup, their tank line.
Mm-hmm.
Penne is a lot better than I think people give him credit for, and I can't really see anyone Gehanna's giving him much of a fight. As good as Beavers is that ball, I think against the tank line that Shimada's has, it's going to be really hard to CC them.
See, here's the thing. I think even if Shimada win the first map, I think Guyana just go in and they pick a boop heavy map that ball is going to be good on. And that's got to be the strategy at this point, right? Is just pick the maps that ball are good on, and you'll probably have a chance to win. So we'll see how that goes. Let's look at SDG versus Republic Rebels. This is another one. SDG coming off a 4-0 win, and Republic Rebels coming off a loss. It's another one just like Guyana, where both of these teams are going to be looking to get a win to bounce back here. STG, I want to see them keep moving on here. I want to see them keep moving up in these rankings. So I'm gonna go with STG. Fuck it, give me the 4-0. Give me 4-0 STG.
Damn.
We'll see. What do you guys think?
Well, let's see. We look at the captains of these teams. We have Roxas and Trill. And we already know Trill is a Roxas magnet. Any charge that Roxas goes for, it's gonna hit Trill. So
that's a good one. If Trill doesn't change her nickname to Roxas Magnet,
Roxas Magnet. So I think I'm gonna go. It's gonna be a good game. Republic Rebels, they were in the playoffs, so they're still a good team. Maybe I think a 3-2 SDG.
Okay. Okay. And Ryan, how about you?
SCG has a momentum. It depends on whether or not they're going to get the players there, which I think they'll have. I think they'll be able to get a roster together. Rebels is, like we said, is still kind of on the rebuild.
Yeah.
And hey, SCG's feeling it. They're feeling the momentum, and I feel like they definitely have more of the cohesiveness going into this game than Rebels does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and exactly. They've been fighting, and it's funny because they're a team that really has nothing to lose. I mean, they came into the last few weeks of the season, last week and then the last week of the season, they didn't have much to lose, and they just keep coming out and winning. So, props to them. Keep it moving there. Let's look at Eclipsed versus Valk's Ascent. This is an interesting one to pick because of kind of the form that Eclipse has been in has probably not been the best that they could possibly be. And then Valks, on the other hand, have a great roster, and if they have all their pieces, I think they will be able to win this one. But we'll see if Eclipse can somehow bounce back from their loss last week. I'm going to pick Valks here, and I'm going to say 3-2 Valks is my pick. What do you guys think?
I think Eclipse just lost a lot of key pieces over the weekend. So I think I'm going to go with the Valkyrie's Ascent 3-1.
Okay.
Not just that, Eclipse is one of those teams that's sometimes really good, sometimes not. They're just so inconsistent that, you won't really know. And with VD, I think they made all of their moves way too late in the season to have a chance. Like, they tried to keep it alive, but by the time they made the swaps, the teams that they were going up against ended up being what was it? Glass and Foot and Zen's Garden in the last 2 weeks, wasn't it? I think,
Yes. Wait,
or I'm not sure who they might have gone up against,
I'd have
but
to look.
I mean, by the time they were able to make enough changes to the roster to kind of pick themselves back up, they had no playoff shot. That being said, I think that VD is going to play a lot more consistently
Mm-hmm.
than we've seen from Eclipse so far. And Eclipse will have the chance to pull it out if they play their best, but we'll have to see. For the
Yeah.
meantime, I'm going to give this a 3-1 to Valks.
Awesome. Clean sweep there on our picks. All of the Valks descent there. Let's look at our last match here. It's gonna be Genjutsu versus TLM. TLM coming off a hard loss. Genjutsu coming off a close loss, but they showed some hope there. I think here, because of TLM's fills and because of Genjutsu having VV, I'm gonna pick Genjutsu. I'm gonna go 3-2-1 Genjutsu. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
How do you? Oh, I was so confused there. I'm like, how do you
Says the
play
one.
6 maps?
What? 3-1?
Yeah, but you said 2 so like elongated that.
Oh yeah. So like
Oh,
3, 2, 1.
So I'm like, is that? Oh my God, you had my brain for a ride there for a second.
No one here is so quiet.
Anyway,
Good.
yeah, as much faith as I want to have in Genjutsu, I mean, Genjutsu needs everything to kind of fall into place for them to get this one. And again, Vivi is playing out of his mind. You have those superstars on certain teams where it's like they're really good on a team that's not necessarily doing that well, but their play still finds a way to shine. That's kind of what makes them, superstars in those teams. Vivi definitely has that potential.
Yeah.
Probably the person you look at when it comes to Genjutsu. A lot of it needs to ride on the tank line too, because Frankenleg, all they need to do is play consistently around him. The main tank, they have a shot, but if TLM has kind of their pieces all together, they have a really strong DPS line. People forget about. You still got Cool Dude. You still got Judge, who's good on a lot of different things. And ultimately, it comes down to which team will have more of their players there and kind of together on the same page that game.
Yeah.
I'll give it Genjutsu in a close game though. I'd say 2-1 to 1. I want to have a kind of low scoring tied game.
Yep.
Ryan, king of the tie. Okay.
Good.
Now, I might be a little biased here, but you know what? I'm rooting for the underdog. Genjutsu, you got it this week.
Yeah.
I believe in you so much. You came off, you were so close with the VD. And you know what? I gave some Ana tips to Coffee Bean. I'd love to see that Ana come out. Keep that team alive, and I'm gonna give it a 3-1 to Genjutsu.
Awesome.
Let's get it.
By the way, you just reminded me, Coffee Bean. I was watching their match earlier, and Coffee Bean was definitely one that stood out to me. Playing really good on Mercy, it looked like.
Yeah.
And so we'll
Sharky
see.
was doing great on Lucio as well.
Awesome.
Might be one to look out for. But are they really the underdogs? Kind of.
Yeah, we just
true.
Genjutsu, so yeah.
That's a good question. Watch us all be wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hope not. We're putting our chips on Genjutsu right
now. Yeah. So that is the second to last week of the season here. We're almost done in this season. Can you believe it? It literally flew by. It felt like we were in the off season last season, like a few weeks ago. Now we're already here in the playoffs.
The semifinals, dude.
I've had a lot of fun. This league is great, dude. There's nothing else like it.
Honestly, we're looking to make it better next season. So
just last season, I think we had one extra week of playoffs, right? It's only 3 weeks this time.
Yeah, last week I think was 4 weeks, maybe. No, I'd have to look. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, I think if anybody has any suggestions, anything they want to bring up, anything at all, just make sure you can literally just DM me and I'll answer you in like 0.5 seconds, I swear. But now,
We need to make a follow-up video, dude, of the semifinal teams' storylines throughout the season. Because you got some great stories for all 4 of these teams.
Yeah,
That is true.
we'll probably look at some of that's like recap stuff during the off season and whatnot, and maybe recap the top 4 teams or something like that. That'd be a good idea. But yeah, anything else you guys want to say here? Because I think that's just about it for today's episode. Unless you guys have, you guys already kind of did your shout-outs. But anything you guys wanna throw in here? Anything to plug? You guys good?
Glad to have
Shout
Dizzy
out.
back.
Yeah, definitely.
Go for it, Ryan.
Shout out to my girlfriend for allowing me to be at all the games.
Yes.
For not vetoing my ability to make it.
There is nobody more important. Trust me. Because, yeah, I'm in the same boat. If my fiance did not let me play in all the games, we'd have a problem.
So shout out to all the SOs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to
I
all the
wish.
significant others of everybody in the
Yeah.
league and putting up with us the amount of time that we put in Overwatch. Thank you.
And all of the SOs
I'll
that we
just-
have within the league.
Yeah. I'll just sit here being lonely. Yeah. Just kidding. It's
Those
fine.
people are important too.
I'm
You'll
used to
find
it.
someone
Yeah.
soon, I
To
promise.
all you lonely people, we're all here for you. We all love you.
You have us. You have the league.
Yeah. You have the league. You have the
Exactly.
podcast.
Come to us. No, alright. That's about it, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Fuelmaker, for being on. Thank you, Ryan, for coming
course.
back. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Cue outro.
Peace.
Talon Talk.
Lord.
Yeah, Talon Talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.